The second thing Americans think about when they think about Mexico, but used to be the first thing, was illegal immigration. Do you believe that this problem has gone away because of the economic recession, or are you still dealing with the issue of Mexicans going to the United States on an undocumented basis?
But the only way to stop or reduce illegal immigration to the United States is creating job opportunities in Mexico, and that is my goal. I don't like to see Mexican people crossing the border and risking their own lives in order of looking for opportunities in the United States.
But this is a long-term strategy.
Yes.
In the short term, surely there's got to be some way you can place some controls.
Well, in fact, we are doing our best in order to persuade the people to avoid to cross the border. And we are trying to advertise about the risk crossing the border. And actually, another problem that we have with organized crime is that they are now the dealers, the coyotes, polleros, and they are abusing of the migrants. Even migrants coming from Central America in the hands of the criminals suffer a lot of abuses here in Mexico in the hands of the criminals. My point is, there is no solutions in the short term. Why? Because it's a natural phenomenon in social and economic basis. And you can see that...
Meaning by that, you have a huge wage disparity between Mexico and the United States. And so people are naturally going to try to go to the place which has higher wages.
That could be one reason, but in a very aggregate level, so American and Mexican economy are absolutely complementary economies. So American economy is intensive or abundant in capital. Mexican economy is abundant in labor. One is a big economy, the other is a small economy. The age of the American people, for instance, American people, the average is older than Mexican people, so the American economy needs Mexican people even to preserve the capability to pay pensions for the older people. The average of Mexican people is 27 years old. So it's a natural economic phenomenon, and it's almost a textbook case, if I can say that. So, and you need labor and you need capital to be productive.
What do you think when you hear people in the United States talk about these immigrants? You had the Conservative Political Action Convention a couple of weeks ago, in which some of the speakers were talking about people in America who can't even write their names and speak in English, but are voting. You know, these are all characterizations, of course, largely of Mexicans who cross the border.
I know. My perception is that that kind of behavior is contrary to the main principles of the American society. And the main principles of the American society have been tolerance, plurality, and even America has been a country of immigration in history. And the other point is we need to be more clear about the nature of this phenomenon and also the advantages for the society and the American economy of immigration itself. Again, I don't want to promote migration to U.S. I'm working really hard in order to create opportunities here in Mexico for Mexican people. I'm coming from a state of migrants, Michoacán. In my state, there are 4 million people, but in the United States, there are 2 million people coming from Michoacán. And now I know that each migrant is a father who never is going to see probably his family. It's a mother, it's a son. 400 people die trying to cross the border each year. So for me, it's not, I don't want to see that anymore in the case of Mexico. But it's impossible to try to fix that by decree. There is a way, President Obama is working really hard on that, related to how to provide legal form to this reality, to the people who already is working and providing services to the United States in their economy.
Do you think that any immigration reform for it to be successful, has to include a guest worker provision, because there are some Mexicans who are coming into the United States really for seasonal labor, to pick fruit or to do construction jobs, and then they clearly want to go back. Is that provision at the heart of solving this problem?
My perception is that yes, these kind of programs could be useful to try to deal with the problem. Actually, there are a lot of Mexican workers that they don't want to establish in a permanent way in the United States. They want to get one opportunity for their families, and they want to come back to Mexico as soon as possible. If we can find a way in which these kind of not permanent programs could provide the opportunity to get a job, temporary work, and at the same time to help with the crops in the United States, or to help with special seasonal economic activity, and then those workers can come back to Mexico, I think would be very useful. It's not enough, I need to say that, but it could be very useful.
You were one of the first foreign leaders to meet President Obama. What was your reaction?
Well, I think we are building trust between the United States and Mexico. It's a very difficult process. My perception is that he's a very honest man, and of course with an amazing leadership. And my first thought about that is he will be very useful in order to reinforce the relationship between Mexico and the United States.
You feel like the relationship, your dealings with the U.S. government right now are in good shape?
In good shape, yes. I'm finding a very active collaboration coming from the American government, especially in several sectors or issues from the bilateral agenda, in particular in security. It's very, very important that the American government participate in a more coordinated way in order to fix this problem, because this is not a problem of Mexico, it's a common problem. Drug trafficking is a common problem. Violence is a common problem, particularly in the border. And of course, the stability of the region, the stability of the society, it's a common problem.
Mr. President, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
ملقحينا حرام عن وجوه الحقائق لا رفعت الغطا ويبان مسخن